Okay, so this is part 2, and let's try to finish this. So common denominator here is x, right? So if we get this, we get 5 plus 15 over 25. So this is 20 over 25. This is 4/5. That's it, right? Next. Now you have common denominators for a. So you get here 144a over a minus, what is this, 36? That's it, right? There's nothing else to do. You just basically you multiply this times this, right? Which is 144a. This cancels with this 4, and then you get 1 times a, which is a. And then you multiply 48 times that, that's just 4. So that's going to be negative 36. Okay. Next. Common denominator here. So here common denominator will be 20 x squared, right? So you do the same thing here. So that's going to be 25 x squared. And here we got 2x cubed. And then we get negative, what is this? Negative 100, right? Because this 20 with this 4 simplifies into 5. And 5 times 5 is 25x squared. Then for the denominator, this 20 divided by 10 is 2. 2 times x squared is x cubed, right? And then this cancels out with this one, cancels out with this one, and then you have negative 5 times 20 is negative 100, right? Like that. 16, right? 16, we need to multiply here by m squared, n minus 5. Actually, not n minus 5, just m squared, because this is by 1, right? So we don't need to worry about that one. So this is m to the 4, right? Plus m minus 5, and this is going to be over m squared. Remember, you multiply here by m squared too. M squared, m minus 5, right? So this is going to be 2m minus 1 over n cubed minus 5m squared. That's it. You're done. Next number. This one. So if you don't know what is common denominator here, you factor like we did in class today, right? This one. So this is going to be u plus 1. So now you know what you're missing here. You need to multiply this first fraction, right, by u, right, basically. So that's the common denominator. So common denominator will be u plus 1, right? So everything is going to multiply u plus 1. So this is going to be u plus 1, u plus 1. So this cancels out. You get 9u plus, this is just 9 over, on the bottom you get u cubed, and on the top you get, what is this thing? U times 3u plus 6. Yes, so that means we get 9u plus 9. This is u cubed minus, well, these two you multiply, you get 3u squared. That's going to be 3u squared, right? And then you got 6u, that is going to be negative 6u. And that's it. That's your answer, right? Next problem. 18, right? So 18. What is common denominator here? Well, this 16, we can multiply by 9, we get 144. We multiply this one, we get 144. We multiply this one by 12, we get 144. But this is not divisible by 4 or 3. This is only divisible by 5. So we have a problem here, right? I cannot do the same like I was doing before. However, I have an idea. Okay, so you're gonna multiply everything by 16 times 9 times 12 times 25. You will see how this works. 16 times 9 times 12 times 25. So if you do that, that's basically your common denominator. Like all those numbers multiply together. If I multiply those numbers together, I'm gonna stay here until tomorrow, right? I'm not doing that. So Anyway, when you simplify the numerator, right? We get the first expression simplify. So basically we're dividing this number by this number, right? Like that. So you get 9 times 12 times 25 times x squared, right? That's the first fraction. And then this fraction simplifies into, oh my God, I don't like when this happens. Okay, so I was saying that the first fraction, this one, simplifies into this number, right? Whatever this number is, times x squared. And then you divide this by this 9, and you get 4 times 16 times 12 times 35. I'm sorry, 25, right? And that's it. That's the top, right? And then the bottom, and all this is divided by, well, we'll do the same thing, right? So this number divided by all these things, right? So that's going to be just 16 times 9 times 25 times x minus, and you do now these 25 divided by everything, right? So that's going to be 3 that multiplies all these numbers, right? Except the 25, 6 times 16 times 9 times 12, right? And that's it, right? And now we need to simplify all these big numbers, right? Okay, so let's find the GCF on the top, which is going to be a little tough to find it. So I think here we have 12, we have 25, and here we have 12, we have 25, and that's it, because the 9 is only divisible by 3, the 4 is not divisible by 3, the 16 is not divisible by 3, so the common denominator is this 12 times 25. So now you need to multiply 12 times 25. So that's going to be 24 in 1 0, and this is going to be 60, so this is going to be 300, if I'm not wrong. Let me see. 24, 0, 60, that's 300. So that's a common denominator between these two. Okay, hopefully something cancels out or something nice simplifies after that. Okay, so that's gonna be 9x squared plus 64. Let's see something here. And yeah, so this is supposed to be 64, right? Okay, let's see what happens after that. Okay, let's see what happens after that. Okay, and then here in the denominator, we can cancel, we can simplify this, right? So we can simplify that 16 times 9, right? So 16 times 9 is 144. And we get 25x, 144, and we get 25x minus 36. Okay. Let's see what happened here. By the way, this is the tough one from this worksheet. When I remember when I think one person asked this question in class. Okay, let's see. Okay. Let's check this really quick. Okay, let's hold on this, and then we will go back at the end on this, okay? This problem, okay? Let's hold on this so we can save the time. Okay, 19. So here, we can multiply here by common denominator will be, here will be 75x, right? So if we do that, we get here 25 times 9, right? Actually not. So this is, yeah, common denominator is 75. So this is 75 times 9. And this is gonna be 375 divided by 25 is 3. So this is gonna be 9x. And then on the denominator, we have 25, because 75 divided by 3 is 25. 25 times 5 is 125x. I can do that right away. And this is going to be just 75. So on the top, we have 45. You carry 4, 63, 66, 75, minus 9x over, that's it, right? We're done. Okay, this one is, it wasn't that bad. Okay, next, let's see this one. We need to multiply here by what is common denominator here. So this is gonna be, let's see, yeah, 20, right? 20 x squared. So if you multiply that by 20, you get 120, and then you add 20 divided by 5, that's 4. That's going to be 4x to the 4. And then on the denominator, you simplify that 20 divided by 4 is 5. 5 times 5, that's 25x cubed. And then here you get 20 divided by 2 is 10. 10x times x squared, that's 10x cubed, right? And this is a plus here. And then if we can now add this together. So this is 35x cubed, right? The same thing as they have. The hard thing is you have to find common denominator. Once you find common denominator, this is very easy problem, right? Okay, so next, 21. Okay, here, what's common denominator? That's easy, just 9x, right? So 9x, this is gonna be, what is this thing? 27 plus, it's gonna be x cubed over, and on the bottom we have 9x here too. So that's gonna be 45 and 4x squared, right? That's it, you're done. Here, common denominator is gonna be, well, you have 4 and you have a squared. So this is gonna be 4a squared, top and bottom. So that means that this is a to the 4 plus a squared, a minus 1 over 12, and then this is going to be a, right? So this is going to be equal to 4 plus a cubed minus a squared all over 12 plus a. Did I miss something here? It's supposed to be 4, right? Yeah, I missed a 4. Because if you're asking why, because we are dividing 4a squared divided by a, so that's just going to be 4a squared divided by a is 4a. So that's the denominator, right? And here we need to fix it, right? 4a. Okay. Next, 23. So we need to multiply here by, well, common denominator here will be 10u, right? So 10u here, 10u here, right? And we simplify this, right? So this is going to be 5, actually this is going to be 20 minus 10 divided by 2 is 2, u cubed, right? And then on the denominator, you get 10 minus 5u squared. Actually, u cubed. Now you can, I mean, you can factor something, but they leave it like that in the answer key, so that's fine. Then you're done, right? And I think this is the last one, right? Oh no, there's more. Okay. So here you need to multiply by common denominator again. So this time common denominator is going to be 75a squared, right? So here it's going to be 75 times 16 plus 27 a squared over, I put 7 here. This is 75 a squared. So here is 3a cubed, and then here is 25. 25 times 16, right? Because 75 divided by 3 is 25 times 16, 8 to the second power. So we need to multiply that 75 times 16, right? So 75 times 10 plus 6, that's 750. And then this is 30 carried 450, right? So this is going to be 0, 10, 1200, right? So this is 1200 on the top. And this is 27a squared. And here we have 3a cubed. And well, this is, look, if you think about these two numbers, we multiply. So 25 is 1/3 of that, right? So 1/3 of 1200 is 400. So this is a squared. Done. That's it, right? Next number, 25, right? So 25, what common denominator? Well, we have 5 here, so we don't need to do anything. That's going to be 15, right? 15x squared. So 15x squared, 15x squared. So we get here 5x squared, right? 15 divided by 5 is 3. Actually, this is 9. Then we have 3, and this is going to be 27x squared. And then on the bottom, we get 15 divided by 3 is 5. This is 20x squared minus just 15 times 5 is 75. 75, that's it, right? And then we add it. So this is 36x squared over 20x squared minus 75. You need to know how to find common denominator, right? If you still don't know how to find common denominator, you can ask me in class how to find common denominator. I assume that you know how to find common denominator at this point. Okay, that's it. Next. And this is the last one, right? Yes, this is the last one. So what is common denominator here? Well, it's going to be this together with that and with the 6, right? So we need to multiply 6m plus 3, m plus 5, and then on the bottom we do 6, m plus 3, m plus 5, okay? So if we do the top, we get 6, because you're dividing basically, right? You're distributing basically the first term, right? This times this expression, right? So that this cancels with that, right? And then you get 36, right? If you want to do it right away, this is 36 m plus 5. And then the next part will be, well, now you're distributing this times this, right? So the m plus 5 is going to cancel. So you get 6 times 4 is 24. And that's going to be at least cancel with that, right? So you get 24m plus 3. Okay, that's what's happening so far. Okay, and then on the denominator, you get you do the same, right? You do this exactly the same thing. This times this, right? So then you get the m3 cancel with that, right? And then you get 6m plus 5 to the second power. And now you do this one again times this one. So this is going to be minus, well, this cancel with this, right? So you get m plus 5 times m plus 3, m plus 5, and you multiply, I mean, you need to, well, actually this is m plus 5 to the second power, right? So m plus 5 to the second power, m plus 3. Okay, so now it's about combining like terms and simplify these things, right? So this is going to be 36m, right? So this is 180, right? 180 plus 24m plus 72. That's the top. Okay. And the bottom we need to, it's going to be a long process. So on the bottom we have, let me move this on somewhere else so I can have room enough to simplify this thing. Okay. So now we need to FOIL here, right? So if we FOIL, we get 6m squared plus 10m plus 25, and then you distribute each term once, right? Distributive property. So this is 6m squared plus 60m, and then this is gonna be 4, that's 150, right? It's gonna be 150. And then you have to do the inside, right? So the inside, I mean this thing, right? So this is minus, and I need to distribute whatever is inside, right? So if we do that, we need to FOIL the m plus 5 to the second power, and then multiply that by m plus 3. So that's going to be m squared plus 10m plus 25. And now we need to distribute this m plus 3. So that's going to be m cubed, right? Plus 3m squared. I'm sorry, let's do step by step. So this times this, right? That's m cubed. Then we do this times this, that's 10m squared. Then I do this times this, that's just 25m. Now we start with the other one, right? The 3. So we do this times this, that's 3m squared. Then we do times this, that's gonna be 30m. And then we do the last one, right? This times this, that's 75. Okay, so I need to put all that inside a bracket, right? So let's see if we can simplify something before we put it in the bracket. So the m cubed is the only one, right? So this guy is the only one. So we can put that here. The m squared, we have 2 terms. So this and that, that's 13m squared. And then we have this and that, that's going to be 55m. And 75, right? That's the only number left. Okay. And let's simplify. Now the top, you combine this and that, that's gonna be 40, and that's gonna be 60m. And then this and that, that's 252. The bottom, we need to simplify that further. So 6m squared plus 60m plus 150 minus m cubed minus 30m squared minus 55m minus 75. We need to simplify, right? More. Okay, so the m cubed, there's only one. So this is negative m cubed. And what else? The m squared, how many m squares you have here? Only 2. So this is going to be 13. That's going to be negative 7 m squared. And then you have the 55m and the 60m. So that's going to be 5m. And then these two, that's 75. Right? And then on the top, we're done, right? We simplify that already. So that's the answer for this problem. Okay? That's the answer. Now I have to do that one that I couldn't do before, or something wasn't going on. And then what's that? Ah, this one, right? That I put it. Let's do this one now. Let's see what happened. Why it doesn't want to come out. So this one, the common denominator here will be multiplied by 9. Here will be multiplied by 16. If you multiply those two numbers, you get 144, right? So I can multiply here by 12 and I get 144 again. So no problem with that, right? So common denominator basically is 144. And since this number is not divisible by 5 or by 12 or by 8 or anything not like that, we can multiply those two together. Okay, so let's multiply like this. So let's see if we can figure it out easy that way. Okay, so that should be the common denominator here. And then the bottom, it should be the same. Okay, so let's see what happens this time. So that's going to be 9 times 25, right? Because if you simplify that 144 times the first expression, that would be 16, 144 over 16, that's 9. 9 times 25, that's what I have on the top, times x squared. Then plus 144 divided by 9, that's 16. 16 times 4 is 64. And 64 times 25 should be here, right? And yeah, and then on the bottom we have the 144 and the 25, right? So if you basically we're doing the same thing, right? We're doing the 144, this one, these two together with that, right? So 144 divided by 12 is 12 times 25, right? So this is 12 times 25 x, right? And then we do the same thing with this one, right? For the second one. So these two, right? So that's going to be 144 times 3, basically, because this cancels with that, right? So you get 3 minus 3 times 144. Okay? So now what is common denominator here? Well, you can see clearly it's going to be 25, right? You can do that. Or if you want, we can expand it, right? Let's see what we get this time. 25 times 10 would be 250. So you could take 25 and you get 225 x squared. If you multiply 64, 20 plus 5, that's going to be 8, 128, and the 0, and this is going to be 20, 32, right? So if you add that, that's going to be 1600, right? As they have in the answer key. And then that's the top, and then the bottom, we can multiply those numbers together, right? So 12 times 20 plus 5, that's 240, plus 60, that's 300 on the denominator, x, and then minus 3 times 144, 3 times 144, well, we can do that multiplication on your own. This is 12, carry, that's 13, carry 1, 432. That's it. Okay. And that's basically it. I mean, I hope you understand all the problems, okay? The main thing is you need to identify what's common denominator. Once you identify what's common denominator, this problem is nothing. It's very simple, okay? If you have further questions, you can ask me in class how to do this. Thank you. Have a nice day.